1980s, there were great debates, within the Democrats and the Republicans. And one debate was over neoliberalism. That is, would you deregulate everything, trade and immigration and regulated industries, and then redistribute money, often cash, to the so-called losers. That was sort of the neoliberal model, and it was a new model. And then there were defenders like me of the older mid-century model, which took the form of the New Deal in the US, but it took the form of social democracy, Christian democracy, wet Tories in Britain, which said, no, we have a mixed economy. And we also think that organized labor has a role to play. And so my side lost for 30 years or so, from the 90s up until really the 2020s. The ice starts to break with Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump in 2016. There's a French proverb, I don't know it in French, but I heard this some years ago: there are not 36 ways to do a thing. So there are some basic decisions you have to make about how you organize a modern industrial economy and modern industrial democracy. Do you regulate trade and immigration in the national interest, or do you not? Is there a role for organized labor and collective bargaining in setting wages and benefits, or is there not? And so you come up with, basically, I argue in my new book, Hell to Pay, how the suppression of wages is destroying America, that we've gone from the mid-century model of a high-wage social insurance system, in which if you worked 40 hours a week, you not only made enough money that you didn't need means-tested welfare, but you also could pay with payroll taxes for adequate social insurance, to the post-1990s system, which I call the low-wage, high-welfare model. And it's high welfare, not that the welfare is necessarily generous. The US, very miserly welfare system, but it's that you have millions and millions of workers in the United States, also in Britain and some other European countries now, who, even if they work full time, they can't make enough to live on from their market wages. And so they're dependent on not universal social democratic insurance or public goods, but on specific—
like the earned income tax credit and those kinds of things.
They're means-tested programs for this group called the working poor. And in the middle of the 20th century, for the most part, if you worked, you were not poor. So we tried the neoliberal globalist approach, and in its sibling, the low-wage, high welfare, high redistribution system, and it just didn't work. And so I'm glad I've lived long enough, to see people come around to the alternative. It's like the old joke by Churchill before the US entered World War II: the Americans can be counted on to do the right thing as soon as they've exhausted the alternatives.